Well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to share the angels with you. Alrighty? Okay, a little preamble. In the beginning was God, and every religion talks about all that is and how it divided and became to know itself, and it kept dividing into further and further subcomponents. And hence everything is like a spark of God. We're a child of God growing up. And if you take our lineage back further enough, we'll go through different species. We'll go through different dimensions. We'll definitely, all of us will go through angels and ultimately back to God. Some people, perhaps earth angels. I know myself, I descended from the lineage of Ariel angels. Like I am very close to nature and animals, among other things. And I can recognize other angels, and there's not a ton of them, but we're not that rare either. And I think if that's been fairly recent in my lineage. And so everybody listening, we've all have angels in our lineage. It's just a matter of how far back we go. And in our etheric records, as we go back, we're going to have the records of everything, because really time is happening all at once. So I've kind of been working, if you will, with the angels, and came up with a new technique. And I'd like you all to do it with me. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a vortex and use this kind of energy as like a scalpel. And to go through, we'll do this at the end. We'll have Gabriel do it. He'll go on our backs and he'll use the vortex like a scalpel, like a knife, to cut our etheric records to go deep enough wherever far back it takes. And start to loosen our wings. And another thing is, don't be surprised if they're not all angel wings. I found fairy wings before I found angel wings. And one of my best friends was a falcon in her first wing experience. So just be open. Okay, so I want you to learn about this vortex. And so I'm going to do something I'm going to ask you to follow. And I've got my two hands up here. And we're going to go slowly together. And I want you to just be very sensitive. Everybody has sensitivity to do this. And you'll be going very, very slowly. And then at some point in time, you'll feel a little tiny bit of pressure. There it is for me. Now, if I was working with crystals, it would probably be here, but I haven't been working lately. So here it is. And this is my aura button up. My two-hand auras are button up. So I want you all to try that. I want you to feel the resistance. It's just very soft. It's just a tiny bit of pressure. So you come in, and as soon as you feel a tiny bit of pressure, that's about where your two-hand auras butt up. Okay, so has everybody been able to do that? And pay attention to how you feel and how the energy feels inside. It's kind of like a balloon. It expands out. Okay? All on board? Okay, then let that go. Now, I just did that to let you experience that feeling, to contrast that with a vortex. A vortex is going to be like the exact opposite. The energy is going to be very sticky and pulled together. Okay, so put your hands up like this. And then, so I have thumb to pinky. Okay. And now very, 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 very slowly, again, I'm going to start to pull my hands apart. And I have to put pressure on the whole way. And it's like the exact opposite feeling of feeling your aura behind your hands the other way. And just kind of put your awareness in between your hands and feel how it feels in between your hands. It's very deep. You can reach other dimensions in a vortex. It's like a scalpel. Okay. Could everybody feel the difference? So we're all on board? Okay. All righty. Because Gabriel's going to use that vortex like a scalpel on it. So I was just explaining that. Okay, here we go. We're just going to close our eyes and start to meditate. Just imagine you're just flying out in space. It's just imagination. And you feel very safe. And as we start to fly, we slowly start to land. We come on to a beautiful place with lake and waterfall, trees. There's a deer. Sounds of the water. It's very peaceful. And Archangel Gabriel comes over, and he's walking right into the back of me. I'm very grateful to see you. I am Gabriel. And as humanity evolves, you need more and more evolved tools. Reiki was gifted to the planet 25 years ago. And this is a more powerful version. We will learn how to run energy through wings and appendages that we had millennia time ago. So I'm going to create a vortex, just like you felt that deep, deep, multidimensional knife. And I'm going to start at the back of your skull, in that little hole in the back of your head underneath your skull, on the top of your spine. You should feel pressure. And I'm creating the vortex. And I'm starting to go down your spine slowly. I'm down now to the level of your shoulder. And you should feel that little tiny pressure going down your shoulder or your spine. I'm going to take that scalpel and I'm going to go across your shoulders and put the vortex underneath your wings. So I'm on top of your skin, going off to the right, starting at your shoulders, and I'm just digging in, getting rid of Maya, illusion, incarnation after incarnation. Now I'm turning around. You should feel slight pressure. We're going down your shoulder. And we're going to go along the side of your body. I'm coming down to the level, I'm at the level of your heart, belly button, hips, knees, and all the way down to the ground. And I'm just going to kind of pull that wing out there. So I want you to wiggle your shoulder, your right shoulder a little. Help me to pull out the wing. Now I'm going to start underneath the base of your skull, the top of your spine. We're starting down your spine. You should feel a little pressure coming down your neck. We're just going to go straight down the spine, and I'm going to take that scalpel and take it on top of your skin, underneath the wing. Starting now, I'm at the level of your heart, waist, hip, knee, ankle. Start to wiggle that right shoulder again, and I pull out the other side of this wing. There we go. Now put your right hand out, and I want you to feel the wing as if your right hand is the bone of the wing. Just start to move. When you move your hand, you can move. You can activate the whole wing with your arm. You can feel it. It's a little heavy. Opening this up will help back problems. Some of this energy was stored in your lungs. It gives you a little bit more freedom and breathing room. And there are many videos in the class on how to use this for healing, manifesting, protection, etc. Now I'm going to take my scalpel and I'm going to start, and we're going to work on your left wing, starting at the base of your skull, going down your spine. You should feel pressure. I'm going down inch by inch to the level of your shoulders. And I'm starting to use that scalpel and go on the outside of your skin, but underneath the wings. And I'm going across to your shoulders. I'm going to just open that up. And I'm going to start down the side of your left in the back, the left side of your body, the level of your heart, belly button. You should feel this slight pressure, hip, down your thighs, knees, knee outside of your leg, and down to the ground. Now move that left shoulder. Now I'm going to start to pull it a little loose. There we go. One more cut for this set of wings. Starting underneath your skull, coming down your spinal cord, going down, straight down the spine, and we're going to go underneath to the left to pull out this side of the wing. You feel a little pressure going down your back and underneath the level of your heart, going down to your belly button, hips, knees, and all the way to your feet. Now start to move that left shoulder, and I'm helping to pull it out. And move that left arm all the way out. And as you move the arm, it's like the bone in the wing. It's been a long time since you've used them, but you have used them. Here we go. Maybe try them both. Feel the weight and the pressure. Okay, and just rest. I'm going to take that scalpel, starting underneath your skull, on your spine. Slowly feel the pressure, and I go down to the level of your shoulder. On the spine, at the level of the shoulder blades. Down to the belly button, back of the belly button, to the hips. Some of you have tail feathers, and some of you have 2 wings. Think of a butterfly, depending on which lineage was last before human. So I'm going to work on each one of you and those who do the recording as well in the future. I'm going to start going off to the right. Some of you have tail feathers, like 1 set of wings, and other of you have 1 wing on the right and the left. Pretty much anchored at the hip. So I'm going off to the right. You should feel a little pressure coming down your right side of the outside of your body, underneath your butt, and kind of up to the center, and I'm pulling out part of the tail wing or that right lower wing. Kind of wiggle your right hip. Feel it pulling out. Either way, we're going to rest it on the ground, like training wheels or something. Now I'm going to take my vortex and I'm going to go at this level of your hip off to your left. I'm going with my scalpel underneath the top of your hip, down your hip, across the lower part of your butt, up, and I'm pulling out your left wing. Wiggle your hips. Feel the weight, feel the tail feathers, try to spread them. Just by moving your body. Use your imagination. It creates and directs energy. Beautiful. Now we're going to start underneath your skull with my scalpel, going down your spine. A few of you, not all, but a few of you have a few more wings. The pressure is going to go down your neck, shoulder, keep going down, back of heart, belly button, small of back. We're going down both legs. And some of you have some little tiny wings underneath your knee. Just 2 of you. But I'm going to use that scalpel and I'll start to pull them out. They're very small. There we go. Just start to move your knees a little. Beautiful. Going to continue down your legs. And with those watching this in the future, there are 4 of you that have little tiny wings on your ankles. In mythology, think of the messenger with wings on his ankles. I'm going to use the scalpel and I'm going to start to pull them out. There we go. Wiggle your shoulders, your hips, your body. Move your arms. And imagine those beautiful wings. And while we're down, we're going to go right into some Angel Reiki. I wish you to imagine an eagle. And it's doing a spiral, a huge spiral over a lake. And it keeps coming down to a smaller and smaller spiral until it hits the tip of the spiral. It dives into the water and snatches a fish. Now, how in the world did that eagle know that fish would be there when it started minutes ago? And its eyesight is not that good, especially underwater. The eagle created a vortex, a spiral. Think of a tornado starting big and getting small down at the bottom. Think of water running down your drain. If it's enough water in your sink and you're letting the water out, it has a pretty big funnel and it goes down to the tip. But that creates pressure, sometimes in other dimension, and underneath water. So while the eagle is spiraling around in the air, getting smaller and smaller, it's creating like an energy underneath the water. The surface of the water is the beginning of the underneath spiral that starts as a point, and as the spiral continues underwater, it gets bigger. It's like drawing in the fish like a magnet. The energy pulls them up towards the surface of the lake. So when the eagle swoops down and gets to the surface of the lake, it has pulled up the fish. So I am now going to fly in a spiral about 10 feet above your head. And I'm spiraling to the right in the north hemisphere, south, or to the left in the southern hemisphere. And I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm going to have the tip of the water, the tip of the spiral, be the top of your head. And as I go down, the spiral at the top of your head starts going down to your eyes, nose, chin, neck, shoulder, chest, stomach, hips. It's quite wide now, out to your feet and deep into the earth. And the cleansing energy of the earth is coming now. It's coming up through your feet. It's coming up through your legs, spiraling up to your hips, around your chest, shoulder, neck, into a tip at the top of your head. So I meet the top of your head as the earth energy meets the top of your head. And there's a spark there, like we create scalar waves. Two energies of equal force meeting, creating stillness, openness, void. Very powerful. And at that little meeting point on the top of your head, I'm going to place a circle of life in 3D. It's beautiful, powerful, perfect energy. Many ways to heal. One is to identify your holes. You need vitamin C, you eat an orange. Or you can have a divine template and start from scratch and give yourself perfect energy. And that's what we're doing. We have that beautiful, brilliant light at the top of your head where my energy and the earth energy meets in a spark, in a void. We're going to take that spark and we're going to go down into your head. We're at the level of your third eye. Feel the heat. Feel the bridge at the level of the bridge of your nose and down to your mouth, and this beautiful spark. And also the little tiny Merkabas just coming down with us, creating a divine imprint. Level the mouth, down the neck, to the throat. This little 3D Merkaba, it's opening up front and back chakra. Back chakra of the gods, of the voices of God within you speaking. In this intersection points going down, it's at your clavicle. Down the center of your body, right above your heart, and into your heart. Feel the expansiveness. It's very soft. Doorway to dimensions. Doorway to beautiful versions of yourself. We're going to go into the holy of the holies, deeper, deeper. Absolutely perfect, total perfection. We're going to start down towards your solar plexus, front and back. You radiating the knowing, the peace, the balance, the light. You stabilizing others. Going down the level of your belly button, down to your sacral chakra, front and back. One unified field. Down to your root chakra, going down your legs, knees, ankles, out into the earth, down about 15 feet, and feel the power. This is your power. This creates health in the body. Now we're slowly starting up. 10 feet, 5 feet at the bottom of your feet. Coming up ankles, knees, hips, waist, heart, neck, eyes, top of head and above. You're one unified field of divine energies, your birthright. I am Gabrielle. There. I don't know if anybody wants to comment how they feel. It takes a while to comment because you have to get out of it.
Feel free to just raise your hand using the raise hand function. If you tap the participants icon down at the bottom of your Zoom screen, the white panel will open and you'll see a place to raise your hand. And if you're on the phone and you'd like to comment, you can press *9 to raise your hand. We've got Boots with their hand up.
All right.
Boots, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. There you are.
Hi, wonderful. It was a wonderful experience.
Thank you.
You just feel everything almost electric inside, almost electric.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not thank you from we'll thank Gabrielle.
There we go.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah, we've got somebody with their hand up on the phone, and from area code 408. Area code 408. You can press *6 to unmute yourself, and we'll bring your voice in here. Area code 408, *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you, Jill.
Well, thank you, Gabrielle. Yeah. So you could feel the energy move.
I could. It was like on the call that we had together.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay.
And we've got one more hand up, Jill. So we'll go ahead and invite Patricia to unmute herself. Patricia, go ahead.
Hi, Jill. I did feel some, but I didn't feel like all of it. You know, like certain parts, I don't necessarily feel it. Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay. It works anyway. Part of getting more sensitive is simply focusing and paying attention. And another part of it is, maybe a couple parts, is just a belief really in yourself. Because I think sometimes it's really easy to say, did I feel that? And then you second guess and you say, oh, maybe not. You need to go with, I felt it, because that keeps helping you dig deeper and deeper into perception. And then the other thing is, all of us, especially during these times, you know, all of us have had tough lives. I don't know of anybody who doesn't have some pretty awful horror stories. And what we do is we numb that pain. And then, you know, we have stuff from our childhood. We carry stuff from the people we live with, ancestral stuff, habits and things we don't like from our parents, siblings, people at work. And a lot of times we just get numb. So part of it is allowing yourself to feel.
Okay.
And then when you feel, and if you feel a little thing of pain every now and then, it's almost like it needs recognized. So, you know, I feel lonely, for example, and then this is fun. Think about where you feel lonely. And if you let yourself go, like maybe if you feel lonely an inch in, right in your head, or maybe you feel lonely, if you really center on it, you can identify, like a spot in your shoulder, you'll identify where. And you have to let your imagination go, and then just let it go. And you're starting to lighten up. It's very effective.
Very interesting. I've never felt it like you said, you know, up here or
just pay attention and allow your imagination to run wild, because every feeling has a physical location at some place in your body. For example, if you worry, it's going to all collect in your tummy. You get too much worry, you get an ulcer. So there's going to be a resonance with the negative feelings. And then as you begin to let them go, you just feel more, which is good, because then you can feel more joy. And then when it comes to the pain, you just try to observe, not be it.
Okay, that's really, really great to start doing that, because a lot of times you just tend to feel negatively, and then then it just keeps going more negative, right? But now from what you said, I could feel both.
Yeah.
But, start with, even if it's the negative, then eventually you get to learn more of the positive too.
Yeah. And it literally, it's almost like you burp it off or something, because if you really get sensitive, you feel where it's at. And if you'll feel it on the way out. So you just feel it and let it go. And sometimes if I think it's here, I'll even use my hands to kind of like pull it off.
Okay.
I do that with headaches, and I can get rid of headaches sometimes. Just
I guess it's the energy, the vibration then.
it is.
Yeah. Okay. So would we listen to the replay? Because I know you've already done the work. If I listen to replay, then do I just imagine it happening again?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Or just on the fly as you live your life. Something makes you feel sad. Don't feel like you own it. Just observe it, know where it is, and say, I don't need it anymore.
Okay.
It'll help you feel the things that you like.
Okay. But what about the opening of the wings? Like if I listen to the replay, would I imagine you going in, Archangel Gabriel coming in and doing it again? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you should be able to feel more and more, and it'll be more and more solid. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. I have one more attunement kind of angel Reiki session. And then I thought we ought to practice using our wings. And I had a lot of fun with practice using the wings. It was something that disciples and initiates learned in the Druidic tradition. So we'll have fun with that. But I'm going to just ask an angel to come in and come through me and just do one more attunement on our wings. So I guess if you're all ready, we will close our eyes again. And just imagine you're at the beach. Waves come in, waves go out. In, out. Feel the breeze in your face. You can smell the salt air. The birds are chirping. Feel the heat on your shoulders. And you breathe with the waves. In, out. I am Archangel Raphael. And I'm going to do an attunement on your wings to strengthen them. Shapes have energy. Think in a 2D form. The energy within the lines butts up against the line and creates wave interference patterns. The same on the outside. 3D shapes do the same thing. Air comes up, for example, on a statue and bounces off, making reflection patterns, making frequencies, making sounds. The energy is quite subtle, which makes it quite fine. Science is beginning to measure it, but it doesn't quite understand the potency of finer and finer energy. As in homeopathic remedies, the more dilute, the more powerful. So shapes make very powerful energy. We're going to work on your wings, and we're going to use the infinity symbol, the figure 8, if you will. And on each one of you, with your imagination, and I will be working with your energy fields. It's like I'm placing a figure 8, the top of the figure 8 running on the top of your head, coming down around a little bit below your solar plexus, around your waist, and the bottom part of the figure eight coming underneath your feet. Now I'm running energy in this shape. I'm going up, I'm around the top of your head. You should feel it coming down your right side, across your middle, down your left hip, running energy under your feet, up your right side, across your middle. And I'm just going to spin it. Remember the Maya, the illusion, the etheric records that kind of got dusty, if you will, from thousands and thousands of years of not using your wings. And Archangel Gabriel used a vortex to clean out. Well, I'm really cleaning out your spine and your etheric records, your records beyond human incarnation. And I'm also uniting and balancing the top of the energy from your waist up with the bottom of your energy. And I want you to feel the energy that's moving. I'm working with each of you and I'm moving energy to balance. When you are totally balanced, ascension occurs. It's like there's a puzzle and you have to be the perfect shape to go through the opening. So right now we're balancing your top and bottom. As if this figure eight is like a propeller. I'm going to slowly move it so it's going around your midsection, but now the ends are right and left. And I'm balancing the right and left part of your body. Your right foot with your left foot. Your right arm with your left arm. Your right chest with your left chest. Your right neck with your left neck. Your right hemisphere with your left hemisphere. Your right eye with the left eye. Balancing your jaw bones, your hip bones, shoulders, knees, ankles, toes. Now I'm going to move that as if the infinity symbol or figure eight, as if it's a propeller. I'm going to just pull it up from your back. It's going to be on top of your wings now, and I'm just going to start to spin it. I'm spinning to the right in the northern hemisphere, left in the southern hemisphere. And I'm just freeing your wings. I'm clearing the thousands, millions maybe of years that you have not used them. I'm clearing all the debris. It's like spinning on your back. And now just take your arms and spread them out to the right and to the left. Straight across your body, straight out so they're parallel to the floor. And I'm going to move the center of that infinity symbol up between your shoulder blades. And I'm going to superimpose that infinity symbol on your wings. And I'm going to make it permanent. I'm strengthening your wings. Kind of like training wheels. Your arms should feel more powerful. The muscles in a wing are wider than that around an arm. And I'll leave you with that. I am Raphael. Okay. So I'm going to move into our last exercise, and this one ought to be a lot of fun. I'm going to just talk a little bit about flying, and I'm going to talk about birds because they're so accessible. So, Amy, could you just put up that first picture about the hawk?
The hawk, not the bone structure, correct?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me pull that up. I'll bring it here for everyone to see.
And I just want you to see how wide, like the fleshy part of that wing is. And then just notice how much of that wing is just feathers. Feathers are very, very lightweight, but they're very sturdy. And I felt my angel wings before, but they weren't like of this world. They were so soft. I can't even describe them. There's nothing in this world that I know of is that soft. And that's my wings. There's different types of wings, I'm sure. So I'm just showing you, I want you to kind of feel like the bird, like your body's kind of like a long, slender piece. And notice how the feet are tucked underneath and how much muscles you have. And we just got that strengthened with that little angel attunement. And how much muscles you have and how much feathers you have. And the feathers give you lift. Okay, and so now we'll go to the next picture.
All right. Which one would you like next, Jill?
The bone structure.
All right. Perfect. You got it. Let me bring that forward for everyone.
And in this one, notice the bones. So you can notice at the far right is like your shoulder bone. So like the birds have like an elbow, and then they have like a wrist, and then beyond your fingers, there's depending on what type of wings you have really long feathers, or you have fingernails that are as long as your arm. And so I just want to show you that, because when you move your wrist and your elbows and your shoulders, you're moving your wings. Okay, so the last slide, I just want to show you a bird landing. So just see how he's pulling his back up and he's flapping his wings more. He kind of hunches over and he flaps his wings, so it slows him down. And then he lets his feet down for landing. Okay, I guess we can move on, but I'm just going to talk a little tiny bit about flying. So the tail feathers are grounding, and most people have tail feathers, either the butterfly type or just the other tail. You can use your tail feathers. Energy follows intent. Imagine your tail feathers, dig them like in behind you in the ground, and you can really stand your ground. It almost lowers your voice. So I'm imagining my tail feathers in the ground, and my voice gets deep, and people don't want to mess with me. I'm stronger. And when you're flying, the tails give you kind of lift, because wind gets underneath it. And flying's a little bit different, whether you're flying into the wind across the wind, or the wind's on your back. So if you watch a bird or an angel, I suspect, if you're flying into the wind, you want to become very narrow. You would have your wings out, but you want your body to be like an arrow, because anything that hits the wing slows you down. When you see a bird flying with the wing at its back, it kind of lets the air get underneath its wings, and it glides. Because you get your tail feathers, just imagine you could paint the wind. So you get your tail feathers, you flutter out, the wing you spread out, and it's a different feeling when you don't have to work as hard when the wing's at your back. And then when you're going zigzag, it's kind of like an in-between state. So when a bird begins to take off, you flutter the tail speed, kind of gives you like a running start, kind of like, a takeoff. And then they'll get the lift right underneath them. And then the tail feathers become like a rudder. And one way to kind of get your wings going in this is maybe even squeeze your butt, even the right half to the butt, to kind of imagine yourself tipping and going to the left. Okay. Let me see. Okay, another thing that makes this very visceral is to imagine what you see. So we've all been on a plane. We know what it looks like above. You can be however high you want as an angel. So you can imagine tops of heads, tops of roofs, towns. You can imagine even being in outer space and looking down on the earth. And you'll notice the higher you go up, like if you imagine yourself in space, you'll lift up dimensions and your energy gets very high. When you spend a lot of time in high dimensions, it's very good for connecting angels, psychic development. But to stay healthy on the earth, you need to ground. So you can't spend your whole time up there. I mean, it's kind of like you go up, get divine energy, and come down, and then even put your tail feathers into the earth or something like that, and keep that balance between that strong, healthy grounding energy. You can just imagine your senses, like the wind's going to be in your face, and your beak. Your beak's going to break the wind, and when a bird flies, it hears a whistle, because the wind actually whistles, makes a little tiny sound in the wings. So when you're flying, you can hear not only the flap, but like a little whistle, like an air whistle, particularly if you're gliding. And when you're going to come to touchdown, so like you're gliding, you're kind of going like this, maybe, and then you want to touch down. One way to do it is to kind of dip your body like we saw. And what you do is you break the wind. And another thing, you can go back on the video when you get it and look at that bone structure. But like when you're on an airplane, they have these little tiny flaps at the end. And when you're landing and taking off, the little flaps change direction. Well, birds have that too. They have a little itsy bitsy two bones, like right along the shoulder blade, that big one. And it kind of tips in and out. And it's used for takeoff and landing. So it's used to kind of dig up some air to give you lift, or to turn down air to help you land. So the structure of a plane, that little flap, is also found on wings. Okay. And another thing, when the bird is getting ready to land, it starts to flap more because it's not moving forward. So it kind of turns from like an airplane to almost like a helicopter. So you're kind of gliding, and you'd have a rhythm with your wings. And then when you want to start to tip down, you kind of change your position a little, and maybe bend a little bit, but you have to flap a little bit higher as you go down. So you go down slow. Okay, kind of like air brakes. Okay, so
So Jill, I just wanted to let you know that we're about a minute away from the top of the hour. Time does funny things when you're flying with the angels. So I just, if anybody does need to go, I want to remind folks that the recording will be available. And
thank you.
Jill.
Thank you. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to do a little guided meditation. We're going to fly. And then we'll wrap up. And thank you for that reminder. Okay. All right, I want everybody to close their eyes. I am Archangel Cassiel, and I'm leading flight school today. I wish you all to move your shoulders and your hips and feel your wings. And we're going to get ready for takeoff. You're going to break the air as if it's a balloon, and you're going to point your head, your beak, your nose up, and you're going to spread those tail feathers and start to flap the wings like we're a helicopter. And we're just going to push off with our legs. Feel your hips and your body rise. And I want you to imagine the wind in your face. And you just start up. You can see down below you. And you're flapping, flapping, flapping. You have big muscles in your arm. And it's very easy to pull down. You have little muscles in your wings to pull up. But you don't need them, so you pull down and you create a rhythm. And the wind is in your feathers, and you can feel your fingers extending, and you can see yourself moving. And you tighten and tuck up your feet, and you just soar. We're going to get high enough and have wind underneath our wings. So we don't have to flap, we can just glide and see the trees moving. Feel the wind. You can hear the little whistle in your feathers and a deeper rhythm. You recognize birds by the rhythm. You recognize angels by the rhythm and the speed of their wings. Little ones going higher with a high pitch, bigger ones with a lower frequency. And you can smell the air, you can smell the sweetness of the trees, and it's very sunny. So I want you to imagine as we're gliding, I want you to feel the sun. Now this exercise enables you to see the big picture. Simply doing this flight exercise puts you in a frame of mind to figure out a solution to a problem, to get from here to there, to rise above an argument or an issue you're having with the person, to see the bigger picture, to capture the purpose of things in life. And here we are gliding with the flap, flap, flap. And I want you to look down and see your feet. You're actually not a bird, you're an angel. And just imagine what color the skin is in your feet. Are they male? Are they female? And look up your legs. What are you wearing? And just make it up. Your imagination will give you the image that is appropriate for you. It's in concert and in harmony with your etheric blueprints. Trust your imagination. Just have fun. What a rule. And now look up, and I want you to see you have arms underneath those wings. And look at your wings. Look off to the right and to the left. What color are your wings? Are they feathers? Or are they something else? Are they like a bird, a butterfly, an angel wing? And I want you to look at your hair and what you're wearing on your head. This is you in your last or a angel incarnation. And you're flapping the wings. It's just like breathing. You breathe in, out. Your wings go up, down. As you left the angelic kingdom and evolved further, part of your wings collapsed into your lungs. Notice that you breathe in, out, in, out. This flying is as natural as breathing. And you're high. This is a good place to go when you want to let negative thoughts go, when you want to pray or meditate. This gives you 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th dimensional energies. Just make sure you ground when you get to the end of the flight. Feel the sweet wind. Now we're going to tip our wings down on our right side. Let's go for one beautiful soar. Feel the wind lifting up your tail feathers. You don't even have to use your wings, you're just gliding. Feel the fresh air. Imagine the view. You're so free, and you are free. All of your prisons, all of your difficult situations, they're illusion, and this is real. When you don't have courage to make a big decision, come here and watch the courage grow. We're making a big circle. We're going to make a loop and we're going to start to come down. We're still gliding. We're still gliding. We're getting near the earth. And now take your tail feathers, like move your hips. Tail feathers come up. They kind of break the glide with a little a bone that kind of allows the wings to break. We have to flap more. We become still. We're not moving forward or backwards. We're like a helicopter coming down slowly. Down. Feet on the ground. Wings on the ground. Tail feathers on the ground. Meld with the earth. Feel your power. Feel your strength. You want to stay on the earth. You want to stay healthy. I am. And I guess we slowly come back. Start to open your eyes. And you're in your body again. You feel really good. Start to feel your chair, your back in your body. 3, 2, 1. There you go. So before we leave, are there any comments on our druidic flight?
As you all come back into your bodies, I'll just remind you, you can raise your hand by clicking that button on the panelist panel. And if you're on the phone, you can press star 9. And Karina has her hand up. And so Karina, let me adjust our guides here. Okay, you can go ahead and unmute yourself now.
Hi. That was beautiful. I thank you so much. I was wondering to find, like, if you wanted to find the answer to a difficult question, if you could say more how to, because I was trying to do it as we were there. I was like, okay, I can see the situation, but how can I then, what can I do to more zero in on receiving the answer to the question?
Okay, you're up at a place where you can't even, like, let's say you had a land dispute with a neighbor.
Right.
You can't really even understand a land dispute from up here.
Right.
Right. So, and when you start to raise directions, when you start to become up above things, I usually give it myself some time. You know, we didn't have a whole lot of time here. And I will, like, before I take a flight or something, I'll ask for the answer, and I'll just go there, spend some time, and just try to imagine the big picture. Like, let's say it's an argument with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think when you come to that space, that high space, it's easier to see, oh, well, okay, this person did this, this, and this. That was the way they were raised. They had this bad experience. You start to see contributing factors. You start to see the bigger picture. You don't get into, how could you do this? How could you have done this? You kind of get into, well, you know, we've been together for this, this, and this. And, you know, you start to see the bigger pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll also go on and then spend some time and try to see who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get caught in little things with people, you know, negative things, or watch the news if you want to get a bad bout of negativity. And so you get caught in some of this kind of stuff. But when I'm up there, I don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start to figure out, like, who do I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And then I see that in relationship to maybe the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually come down and I've got this bigger picture, and sometimes I'll sleep on it, you know, because I've already had the experience. It's like I'm opening up the door. It's like when I'm down here in my body, it's almost like all this negative can come at you, and it's kind of hard to think clear. But here you go up here, you clear the air, you get a higher perspective. You literally are experiencing higher dimensional energy, and your perspective changes.
Yeah.
So does that help?
Yeah, it does. Because I'm specifically asking for, because it's often so much easier to see for other people. So it's a great tool for oneself, right?
Yeah.
So, and it makes sense to just give it that span of, that it can sink in.
Yeah. That's what I do. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anybody else?
I don't see anyone else with their hand up, but there is a question here on the chat from Angela. Angela says, can we change from angel to butterfly?
Yes, we can, because we've had numerous incarnations. So when I first started doing this, I was a fairy, and I had little wings, and I played around with that for a long time, and I felt very akin to, like, the Oriole angels. I was very connected with nature, and helping flowers and helping animals, and so I spent some time, I began to remember, and fourth dimension and those kind of things are very real. And, you know, and even just feeling into things, feeling is why would I want to leave that and be human, you know, was also very helpful. And after I did that for a while, that began to fade. And then I had these huge, huge angel wings. And who knows, maybe after I continue to work with these, I'll have something different. Some of the angels have 6, 8, you know, they can have a ton of wings. Some of them just look like really like light. So I would imagine that we do evolve because we've evolved into matter. And so as we go back, we've had different stages. That's a beautiful question. And the answer is yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill.
Okay. All righty. Well, wings up, everybody. Yeah, hope you had fun. I thought it was fun. And thank you so much for coming.